All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for taking your time to join today's session. So we are going to be it's a career tech day for Learn with Pride, and the whole purpose of it is to bring light to you know that transitioning maybe that you've been considering, and you've got loads of questions, but you don't know answers to them. So we are here to provide few of those answers to the question you may have as regards transitioning to tech. So, just the agenda for today, I have slides to go through. I'll introduce myself, tell you a bit about the company, and then I'll call in the experts, the subject matter experts in different fields, in 10 to 15 minutes to quickly share their insights, into that career transition in that particular journey as well. And at the end of the session, we have Q&A. So if you have any question you want to ask, you can drop it on the chat. At the same time, you can just raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you can ask your question as well. The whole purpose of today's session is to be able to learn from each other. So as we are dishing out information, we are expecting the same back in return. As you are learning from us, we want to learn more about you as well. So it's going to be a two-way conversation. So don't be shy to ask questions. Don't be shy to raise your hand. And anything that is unclear to you, please kindly, ask question as well. And once again, can I just ask everyone on the call to forward the link, to family and friends that you think might be interested in transitioning as well, for them to join the session. I would really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. My name is Akin Oladeji, and I happen to be the founder of Learn with Pride. Learn with Pride is an IT training company based in the UK, although we have students all across the world as well. The sole purpose of our existence is to be able to assist people, that are considering transitioning to tech, and when it comes to any of our courses, we focus more on hands-on training. So our training is not for those that are looking for a certification exam, those that wants to write a certification exam, or those that are looking to pass a certification exam. We prepare our students to get the job, not to pass a certification exam. So, meaning our trainings are full hands-on training, you know. So, that is one thing about us. We've been in existence for over 4 years now. And over that 4 years, we've managed to get started on various courses like, project management, software testing, product management, Scrum Master, data analysis, database administrator, Excel, PowerPoint, and the new one that we are just introducing that will be starting next year, which is machine learning and artificial intelligence for those who are looking into that space as well. All right. So that is about the company. Over that 4 years, we've managed to, I'll say over 10,000 has enrolled on this journey over that 10 years period. And also, we have testimonies, reviews for those that want to check that out. You can go to Trustpilot. Just go to Trustpilot and type in and search for Learn with Pride. You see the reviews of those, some of the people who has been on the journey with us as well. And for those that want to read feedback, testimonies, you can check that out on our YouTube channel as well. Just search for Learn with Pride or any of our social platform as well. Just search for Learn with Pride. So that is a bit about the company, about myself. Quickly, I transitioned as well. My background was in accounting, and I transitioned from a very non-technical background, which is accounting, to become a software automation engineer. Um, so I embarked on similar journey back then. It was a 3-month journey as well. But it requires when you're transitioning, it requires you to put in the work, you know. So you need to devote your time, energy, sweat into the process. To cut the long story short, after 2 weeks after I finished back then, after back-to-back interview, I was able to secure my very first real job, in the United Kingdom as a senior software automation engineer. And that is why I know and convinced that, for anyone who is truly ready for the journey, if you can put in the work, you can come out, boldly at the other end. As long as you are ready to sacrifice your time, energy, sweat into the process, you can make your dream job come true as well. So that is that. And why are people interested in transitioning now? Or why do you that you're on the call today? So in just 1 minute, if you can type on the chat, the reason why you are considering, you know, transitioning to tech or want to know more about all what this transitioning stuff is all about. Why are you considering that? So if you can just put your answer, there's no right or wrong answers. If you can just put something on the chart, why are you on the call tonight? What are you looking to achieve on the call? What kind of information or why are you interested in transitioning? So in 1 minute, as I said, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to pick from your answer and elaborate more on that. So just type in anything why you are on the call tonight or why you're thinking about moving from your normal job. It could be nothing, it could be caring, it could be customer service, and why you are considering transitioning to become a data analyst, a business analyst, a software tester, a DevOps engineer, a project manager. Why are you thinking about career transitioning? Some answers, I could see some people dropping their answers already. So please just drop. As I said, we are here it's a two-way communication. So please feel free. Let's learn from, each other. So Kingsley said to make more money and have a flexibility. Larry said to be career relevant and move with time. David said to change career. All right. Anna said change of career and flexibility as well. You are all right. As I said, there's no right or wrong answers. Melvin said flexibility of work. Timothy said to gain advancement in my career. All right. Thank you for all those who has dropped their answer. You are all right. Mohammed said, I feel this transition will give me more time to spend with my family and make more money. All right. That is absolutely right as well. Okay. Let me now tell you the top key, maybe top two or top three, why most people are considering transitioning. You've mentioned some of them already, and that is flexibility. You know, um, Compared to other career paths, let's use a nurse or a doctor, for example. You need to go out every single day to do your shift. You have to go and do your 12-hour shift or 13-hour shift. And depending on the country you are, maybe you need to get up so early. By so doing, maybe your kids, your wife, your kids don't get to see you until when you are off. So that means maybe 2, 3 days your kids might not even get to see you. Although you are making the money, but what is the essence of making the money that you can't even spend time with your family? You know, I believe the reason why you are doing all this hard work is to be able to spend, this money on the family and be able to, for you to be able to see them grow, especially your kids. So transitioning to IT gives you that flexibility now. Worst case scenario, any role in IT now will be hybrid. I don't see, or I haven't seen in couple of years, any IT role demanding for, their staff to come in 5 days a week, especially after COVID. The worst case scenario you can see now is hybrid, meaning maybe you go to work 2 days a week, you work from home 3 days a week. By so doing, and you can be lucky as well and get a fully remote job. By so doing, you have enough time for your friends and family. You can be able to take your kids to school, take your car to the mechanic. It's not like you are not working, but you are working smart. You know? That's one thing about, tech career now. You work smart. Another reason is, the financial bit that you guys have made mention as well. Um, if you start with a particular package, every year your salary is reviewed as well. So whatever you started with, in a year's time, it can't be on the same level. Take for example, you started with 45,000 pounds per annum, and your company is really doing well, they're doing really doing well. As they are doing well, it will have impact on the staff as well. So they share profits, you get bonuses and all of that. So you start with them with 45, in 1 year's time, you might be on 47,000. So there is that, financial incentive as well. And they pay really well as well, depending on what you want to go for, whether it's contract or permanent. Either way, they still pay really well as well. And also be able to work, there's no barrier again when it comes to, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter where you live as well. There's no location barrier, there's no country barrier. Meaning if you are well equipped, regardless of your location, regardless of your country, you can secure a job remotely with an international company. Take, for example, for someone living in Ghana, if you know your onions, you know your stuff, you can start applying for a remote job in Malta, in Ireland, that they will pay you more, So there is no barrier again. As long as you are skilled up, as long as you know your onions, you've already broken the barriers and you can, work for any companies in any part of the world as well. A business analyst in Nigeria perform exactly the same role as a business analyst in the United Kingdom, in Australia. Same thing goes with data analysis and any other career path as well. All right. So thanks for your answer. And yeah, let's move on. So as I said, we have few courses we run at Learn with Pride, and these are the key ones. The master class, which is a 3-in-1 training. You'll be getting 3 trainings for the same price of one. That will be project management, business analysis, and Scrum Master. We have digital marketing, we have software testing, data analysis, we have product management, database administrator, we have Excel, PowerPoint. And lastly, the new one that we are just introducing starting next year, which is machine learning and artificial intelligence. All right. So benefit of enrolling in any of our courses, number one, you get practical training. All our courses, regardless of the one you choose, they are all hands-on training. You get to work on a real project as well, with a full team as well. You get mentorship. You'll be able to join our community support group where we regularly send job updates as well. You get interview support and preparation. And also now we have 2 international accredited certificates that you'll be given at the end of the program, one from the UK, one from the US. The one from the UK is called CPD standards. That is continuous professional development. And the one from America is called ACTD. That is American Council for Training and Development. And they are both recognized in over 100 countries. Um, and also we give you a work reference for the duration that you are with us as well, so that when you start applying for a job, you can use us, as a reference, or any company, depending on the project you worked on. At least you know that you'll be getting a work reference on your CV when you start applying for a job. So what is the training roadmap if you should come on the journey? Number one, you get the practical training. Number two, you get to work on projects, optimization of your brand. Number three, you start to apply for job. But let me take that one by one so that we can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So the training, that is the first step that you're taking. You our training is a well-structured practical training. You are taught in-demand skills as well, and the tutors are top professionals in the industry that are skilled at the practical work and the teaching. You'll be involved in practical project as well. You can see the bottom, the notes at the bottom. Certificates alone cannot get you the job. You need hands-on practical experience to get the job. So things are changing rapidly. Gone are the days where you have to go and pile up professional certifications just because you want to transition, you want to change careers, and you believe that because of that certification that you have, which me I refer to as paper, you secure a job. Things are changing. No, that is not the case anymore. Any company that you are applying for you want to be able to show them that you are skilled, that you know your onions and you can hit the ground running. No companies now really want to spend, if you are not a graduate intern, want to spend time in training you after training you, they don't want to go through that process. That is why in any of our trainings, we are equipping you with the right skills and knowledge for you to be able to compete with those who has been doing it in the industry for the last 2, 3 years. That's the level at which we equip you if you come on board. So we don't rely heavily, on certificate, because with your skills and experience and your knowledge, you can get a job despite the fact that you don't have this certification. And those with certifications, if they don't have experience or knowledge, it's just that certification is just paper in their hand, they won't get a job, and that is why we always tell people when they come on board that, this is a 50-50 kind of a journey, like a partnership. We do our own 50% as a training organization by going above and beyond, equipping you with the right skills and knowledge, mentoring you, supporting you on the journey, you know, providing whatever the assistance you will need on the journey. And on the other end, we expect you to achieve your own 50% as well. That is you going above and beyond what has been covered in class. That is you getting your hands dirty. That is you sacrificing your time, energy, sweat into the process every single day for the duration of the program. And you'll be surprised and shocked at the level at which you'll find yourself at the end of the 5 months or at the end of the duration, of that particular journey. So that is why we really hammer on hands-on training and not certification. All right. For now, let me pause a little bit and let me call in our first subject matter expert. So this is for those who are considering, maybe you want to become a project manager, or you are considering to become a business analyst, or maybe you've been hearing about Scrum Master, and you don't know what it's all about. This is your chance to learn what it's all about. And also, this is called a master class. This is our 3-in-1 training where you'll be trained on Scrum Master, business analysis, project management. It's a 5 months program, and the first 3 months is dedicated for the practical training. Each month will be devoted for a particular course. So meaning your month one might be on business analysis, your month two might be on project management, your month three might be on Scrum Master. Then after you're done with the practical training, the last 2 months will be you working on a project with a full Scrum team. You'll be working with the likes of the developer, the Scrum Master, the product owner, software tester. All of you are working together as a team to deliver a solution for a client. All right, so without further ado, let me call on the subject matter experts who will be taking you on the journey if you are to enroll on this particular course or training, to come on board and tell us more about what it entails, and why this is the right time to consider transitioning as well. So, Tonayo, over to you. Thanks. I'll see you shortly, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Aki. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'll just quickly share my screen. Just a minute, trying to navigate myself there. Please, I would love you to indicate if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Everybody, okay, great. All right, so thank you, Aki, once again. Has talked a lot about what we are trying to do, so I'm just going to dive into what to expect if you enroll in the masterclass, which entails project management, business analysis, and agile project management, which is Scrum. So, briefly, let me introduce myself. My name is Tomayo David. I'm a project manager and a business analyst, and excuse me, and I've been doing this for over 8 years. But my specific knowledge in managing projects in industries span across 6 years plus. So you can see here right now the few companies I've worked, both globally and some locally. So if I'm to tell you about how I got myself into project management, I'll be telling you the same story I can just told you now. He was an accountant. I was in the biological science discipline, but I decided to transition into project management a few years back. Took a course, and I found myself here, having landed multiple jobs as a project manager and a business analyst. Currently, I work as a program lead with Learnwithpride. And I also have some other remote jobs as a project manager in Canada and in the UK. So you may wonder how I'm able to do this. So this is what the course will enable you to do eventually. Stay with me. We'll start with waterfall projects. So in this masterclass, we're going to focus you on two types of project management. One of them is waterfall. I'll talk about the other one as the slide proceeds. So what is waterfall? What is the overview of waterfall? Just like the name implies, like water falling. So there's a way you manage projects in a systematic and sequential way, and also non-flexible way that makes you call it waterfall. Take an instance, if you are to build a road, there are things you must layer before you can start building a road. Some of them is to map out the land, to do some surveying, clear the road, and start laying the quota. You see, so I'm giving you processes that you need to undertake while you are doing that. So that's more like a waterfall process of managing projects. Building a house is another example. So any kind of project that is tangible, that you can handle physically, like construction of road, construction of building, planning of an event, they are more suited for waterfall projects. And also, one other thing in waterfall projects is that there is documentation that is required, detailed upfront planning. Then it's rigid. It's not that flexible. You cannot be building or raising a 10-story building, and when you get to the third story, you now say, oh, I think we forgot something. We just needed a story building, and you want to go back. You would end up wasting resources, you end up wasting time, and also you end up wasting money. So that's why it's not flexible. But it's a very effective way for planning projects. Waterfall is very effective. So we are going to be going into this type of project management and delving into various examples as we proceed. For the agile project management. So the term agile project management is something I'm sure all of us are familiar with. some of you are already familiar with the word Scrum. So Scrum is one of the most popular agile framework. So we have other frameworks like Kanban, extreme programming, dynamic system development model, lean, crystal clear, a lot more frameworks, but Scrum is one of the most popularly used. And when you learn Scrum, it's always easy for you to transition into the other ones. We're going to be learning Scrum as part of our Agile project management. So let me talk briefly, just like I said, about waterfall project. Let me talk about Agile. Now, the reason why Agile project management started gaining traction in the early 2000s is because of flexibility. You know, people just, the project management body of knowledge, you know, they just came up with ideas that, you know, there's a flexible way of, that there ought to be a flexible way of performing projects and not just, you know, having projects in a sort of rigid form that does not allow easy change. So this is what gave birth to Agile. And usually these people are in the software world. No, you know, remember I told you that waterfall projects suited for construction, or like I said, I said tangible projects, construction of road, construction of buildings and whatnot. Even manufacturing a car, all those things that are more physical inclined as a project are more suited for waterfall. But when computer software started gaining traction, there needs to be a way to manage such projects. That is where it came in. Now, let me take us back again, because when you hear projects, most of you don't even have a clear understanding of what the project is. All you know, is probably the project you did back when you were in the uni, or maybe you've done a project of building a house or whatnot. Project is just anything that requires you to manage it with cost, budget, which is budget, that requires you to manage it according to a scope, which is a method, and a timeline. So usually we'll say a project is any endeavor that has a start and finish. That means you start it and you must know that you will finish it. It's not something that is continual, that is infinite in nature. You must have a start and finish date before you can call anything a project. Now, in your minds, I know you would have a lot of things. You know, if you pick or choose to do something, maybe you want to do a business, by the time of the inception of that business idea, until when you can launch that business, you could call it a project. Now, when we are doing software, and all of us know that software, you know, are just pieces of information that a computer analyzes, you know, to perform certain instructions. That's what a software is in a literal term. Now, developing software is one of the very, very vast way a project manager can get employed now. That is why we take it very, very important at Learnwithpride. So Scrum is just a way that you help to develop software from start to finish. Now, when you are doing Scrum, you do not have to be a programmer or a software engineer. You are a project manager in that environment, and that is what we're going to be dealing with. So look at this now. This is how software environment looks like. There is a continuous feedback. That means it involves more collaboration. Unlike when you're building a house, and you know, you can start building and it's until the end, then we are handing over that the sponsor, you know, shows up to say, okay, let me see what you have done. But in software, it's not like that. There's continuous feedback, continuous collaboration, continuous reviews. That means from the beginning, you involve everybody. Everybody is carried along. Another thing is iteration. This is what iteration means: short development cycle. They call it sprint. Short development cycle. That means projects are done in a short development cycle. They don't wait and say, we are going to finish this in a year. No. In as little as 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, you can have your projects ready when it comes to software project management. Testing is another thing. Testing is important for quality assurance and quality management. It means that whenever you're doing a software, you must be able to test the codes. Now, all these things that I'm saying, I don't want to bog anybody's mind with any doubts to say, oh, I don't know anything about all these things. Look, it's just you are a project manager, you are overseeing most of these operations. You are not at the level where you are doing it. Now, another thing is there's cross-functional team involved. Meaning, when they say cross-functional team, it means that a lot of departments are involved, or a lot of disciplines. That is why you are a project manager. There's a guy that is a software developer who is from the IT department. There's a tester. There are other stakeholders. There's a business person that comes in to wear the hat of a business owner. All these things are just part of it. So it makes the team cross-functional. And finally, there is continuous development and continuous improvement. Now, in the software environment, the CDCI means there is always a continuous process of improving. It's the same reason why, if you look at your mobile phone, routine updates can happen, even on your computer system. It will tell you that you need to restart because there is an update. That is a continuous improvement process. So you see how interesting this part of project management is. It's something I would not want you to miss. So if you ground yourself as a Scrum Master, because when you are done with this, you can say you're a Scrum Master, you understand the process of developing software from start to finish. Now, look at the concept. Just an overview of what Scrum is. We have key roles: product owner, Scrum Master, which is where we are going to focus on, because as project managers, this is our role, Scrum Master. Then the development team, which would consist of the developers, the testers, the designers. Then what are the advantages of Scrum? There is high adaptability to changes. It means it is flexible. I said the other one, waterfall, is not that flexible. While Agile and Scrum is flexible. Means that you can start a process and you need to make certain changes, and the changes are welcome because you are just writing codes. You are not building blocks and bricks. And also there's frequent delivery of functional software. Frequent delivery, that means it can be done several times, frequently. You don't need to wait for months. In as simple as in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you can have software out there. Now, the final part of the masterclass is the business analysis. Now, the business analysis is what is a little bit more applicable when you are a Scrum Master or when you're in the Agile environment. Why? Because in the inception, when you're starting any project that is software related, you will need someone that can bridge the development team and the sponsor of the project. That means there needs to be a stand between someone that has business knowledge and technical knowledge. So when he's relating with the business owner, he is on his level, able to hear the requirements that the owner wants to develop, and also able to understand the technical language of the development team and marry it together. So a business analyst would be that person or that knot that ties the business sponsors and the development team together. And one of the functions is to gather requirements, and what requirements means is what we call features. So whatever feature or requirements that a sponsor wants to develop, a business analyst is well equipped for understanding and gathering it. Also, documenting of business needs is another function of a business analyst. Stakeholder engagement, solution evaluation. You'll see that at the end of the day, if you look at these things critically, they have an underlying effect of being a project manager. So that's why we have this masterclass. If you're a project manager and you're focused on one end of it, you have not done justice to yourself, right? You're just going to be understanding one aspect. But when you are a project manager and come software, come a physical project, you are vast, then you have a better advantage in the market. Now, before I go and finalize this, I really want to talk a little more about who a business analyst would be. Now, the word analyst there is that word that makes sure that you are quick with data, you are quick with your thinking, and you are very vast at analyzing things. If you are an analyst, you should be able to see things and take a deeper meaning of it. You will see that I have a graph by this side. A business analyst is someone that is able to analyze insights and make sense and information out of it. So having this knowledge of business analysis in this masterclass will expose you a little into the analytics side, right? Somebody that is able to understand business trends, interpret charts, or play around with data. So those are the things that you will learn. Now, where do we use Waterfall, Agile, and Scrum? I know I've mentioned it, but just to lay more emphasis on it, when you're using Waterfall, you use it for predictable projects where there is detailed documentation, fixed scope. Example of it is a construction project. Waterfall is well suited for that. But when you're dealing with Agile, Scrum, look for a project that you don't even know the outcome. Like somebody says, I want to develop a software that can allow robots, to take a flight. You may not necessarily know the outcome of that. Unlike if I say I want to build a three-story building, I know what the outcome is. I know what the three-story building will look like. But when you are doing projects that you really don't know the outcome, you can better use Agile and use Scrum because of the flexibility. So that means when you are doing this thing, you have room to make errors and correct them, make mistakes and correct them. Then finally, the business analyst is essential in both methodologies. Like I said, it's all around and it ensures alignment with business objectives. You remember, project is done, to eventually implement a business. The reason why people do projects is because there is a business at the end of it. Because they want to profit, because they want that project to enhance their business. In any way around, a business analyst will have to ensure that there's alignment with business objectives. When you are doing projects and it's not meeting business objectives, if you are a business analyst, you'll be able to quickly say that this project is actually going out of tolerance. We need to do something about it. Whether we call it off, we stop it, or we take another change of direction. Now, when you enroll for this masterclass, you're going to be learning, of course, some software that will help you as a project manager. One of them in Waterfall, you'll be learning MS Project. MS Project is one of the tools for planning Waterfall projects. So you see how you plan resources. We're going to be installing it and planning together, and you see how wonderful this software can be. Then in the Agile, you learn Jira and Confluence because they are under the same umbrella. So Jira is a software as well by an Australian company that helps you to schedule and plan your sprints and your software projects. While Confluence helps with documentation and all. So all these are things that we're going to dive in together and learn. And finally, for business analysis, you will learn Tableau. Tableau is a business analytics tool like Power BI. Some of you have heard Power BI before. Power BI, Tableau, very similar in use. Helps to enable data visualization. Now, you can have data that is just raw. When you put it in Tableau, it helps you to visualize it. Visualize it on a very high level. So we're going to be learning how to use Tableau. I can see that some questions are coming already. I'm going to be rounding up now so that we will be able to take questions. Okay, so that's pretty much it. My takeaway, or what I'll call my advice to us, is to enroll in this masterclass because after the class, there's actually a live project, 2 live projects. The one that concerns Waterfall, the one that concerns the Scrum that we're going to embark on. And when you are done with these 2 live projects, it can serve as an experience for you because you're going to get hands-on on real life projects, not a made-up project. Real life project that, because I'm going to be taking most of these classes that I have done or that I'm currently doing that can help you to learn. So it's just like you're learning while you're on a job. That's the experience that you get. And eventually, when you're done, you keep winning. Aki has said it, there's a lot of opportunities for you when you enroll from your LinkedIn optimization, CV review, and whatnot. So these are the things that will better equip you, for the next steps. So thank you very much. I like it to just keep it very simple. When you enroll, you get most of all these things. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Tonayo. Please, if you have any question as regard this particular journey, you can raise your hand to ask your question now, or drop your questions on the chat, and we are going to answer that instantly before moving on. Or if you prefer to wait till you see everything and ask your question then as well, that is fine. But if you have any question that you really want to ask now, please, you can raise your hands as regards masterclass, which is the combination of project management, business analysis, and Scrum Master. All right. If not, you can still ask the question at the end of all the session, at the end when everyone has spoken as well. All right. So quickly, please, no more than between 10 and 15 minutes. So I'm going to be, for those who are on this call as well, and you are interested, you've been hearing the word digital marketing, and you don't really know what it entails, how to go about it, what are the things, that are under the umbrella of digital marketing. This is the opportunity to learn and, and decide whether this is the right path for you. Okay, before I go in there, Larry just sent in a question. Does business analysis require a mastery of mathematics and statistics? Tonayo.
Well, absolutely not. Doesn't require a mastery because you said mastery. But of course, you would have to be able to, add one or two things together. I mean, if I can say as basic as that, but saying it requires mastery of mathematics and statistics, absolutely not. It doesn't. So it requires more of business acumen and project management acumen. The other part of it that I've talked about, analytics, are things that the software will do for you. So you don't need to even understand statistics or know how to plot a graph. The software is going to do this for you. All you just need to do is be the master behind, the computer doing all these things. I hope that's clear. Larry.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Tonayo, for that. If it's not yet clear, Larry, you can raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. Also, there's a link that has been dropped on the chat. If you think you are interested on this journey, please kindly fill in your details there and one of the member will follow up. If you are interested, and you want us to walk the walk with you, they just dropped a Google form on the chat. You can fill in your details on that Google form. All right. So back to someone raises and quickly let's take that question. Oluwadara, you can unmute yourself and ask your question quickly.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Oluwadara.
Yes. When Mr. was talking, I mentioned a particular software to be used for business analysis. Yes, my question is it the only software to be used? What of if you learn using this one and you get a job in a place and they use something, a different package entirely? So how do you want to marry that together?
All right, before I go to Tonayo to answer that, let me quickly chip in one thing as well. When it comes to tools, we have hundreds of tools out there, if not thousands of tools out there, So you cannot learn everything. That's number one. Number two, they are all similar in nature. It's just different names. It's like you are buying, cornflakes from the market. There are different manufacturer of cornflakes, right? But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. You still have to pour it inside milk, add sugar, and drink it. So it's the same thing. Once you know how to use a particular tool, right? Even if you change or your place of work are using a different tool, because of the knowledge you have on the previous one, you can survive on any other one as well. Because as I said, they are all similar in nature and in use as well. It's just the name that is different. That's what I'll say. Take, for example, Jira. You'll be trained on Jira, but there's no guarantee that when you start applying for a job or when you secure a job at the end of the day, they'll be using Jira. They might be using Azure DevOps, But if you know how to use Jira and Azure DevOps, they are similar in nature. You can do everything you can do on Jira. It's almost the same way they do it on Azure DevOps as well. So what you should concentrate on is to master whatever the one that you are exposed to, master it to the best of your ability, and you find out that, even if the tool that you'll be using eventually is different, you can still survive. Take, for example, I was trained on C#, right? But, the mentality was, oh, how am I going to survive if I'm given a different programming language like Java as well? And eventually, when I worked on a Java project, I found out that, it's actually even much simpler than the C#. And the application is similar in nature as well. So that's what I would tell you. But Tonayo, what's your opinion?
Absolutely, you've nailed it on the head. All I just need to say is just re-emphasize that last point of yours, to say that when you learn one, you can do others. And let me give this illustration. Or no, not an illustration, information. We are teaching you the best tools out there that all or any employer will require. For instance, we are in project management and it's waterfall. There's no way an employer will not require an MS project. The same thing with Scrum. They require you to know how to use Jira. There are other ones like Asana, Monday, Trello, ClickUp. But once you know how to use Jira, I learned Jira and I could use the other ones without anybody teaching me. Then for the data analysis and business analysis, beg your pardon, Tableau is more difficult than Power BI. So when you learn Tableau, you have learned the hard one. Now, looking at Power BI, it's going to be like a piece of cake. So I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that. Because of our time, let's move on. If you still have any other question, please, I'll be calling you at the end of the session, or you can drop it on the chat as well. All right, so for those interested in digital marketing and you're considering, transitioning to become a digital marketer or SEO specialist, this is the opportunity to learn more as well. So without further ado, John, over to you, please, in 10 minutes. Thanks. Hello, John, are you there?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are at this time. I'm excited to hop into this to discuss exactly what digital marketing is and then why it's also very important. Just confirm you can see my screen, please. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Or can you see my screen?
Can't see your
No,
screen
you're,
yet.
you're not sharing yet.
Not sure why it's okay. Let me try and see if it's gonna work this time.
Yes, we can see.
Now.
Awesome. All right. So yeah, I'm excited. My name is John. I'm a digital marketing manager. I've been working in this industry for about 5 years now. Over the years, I've worked across several verticals. I've worked with like a lot of startups, food tech, as well as laundry tech. I've worked in the health tech space as well as the fintech space. And it's really exciting working in digital marketing. One of the top side of being a digital marketer is that it has a very low barrier to entry. Like the barrier to entry is very low, right? For me, I started as a community manager, right? I mean, if you know what a community manager does, it's basically to manage community, manage groups, just moderate the community and all of that. Then we proceeded to social media management, and then from social media management, if you're if you're like a curious person, then you can like move into digital marketing, and then maybe you can specialize maybe in performance marketing proper. So one of the main thing about this field is that you're actually paid to learn, right? Let me use that word. You're paid to learn. Employers are willing to pay you, to learn, to use their products as like a what do I call it? A test ground, right? And that's like one of the beauty of this. Just to state, the last cohort that I taught in, at Learn with Pride, I think one of our students here, just after a week after the classes, she has a job. She got an internship job, so in the UK here. So this can also be you. Because after the classes, I get to keep up with the students and then know how they're doing. So if they also need help with regards to what they want to do, I can also get to offer that. So one of the things also about digital marketing in our class, we'll be focusing more on specific, practicals. So for those of you who are, learning, for people who are also advanced, and then for also the ones that are just mid, like, in the middle, there is also opportunity for you here. We'll be, talking about strategies, from strategies to launch to strategies to, develop, how to develop audience, persona, how to target audience, and how to even launch campaigns from scratch. I've had the privilege to also work with startups who are really, really building, and then this was like around in 2022, a startup like that is doing like really, really small in terms of order, like it's like a food business, and then in terms of the right now they are doing almost $250,000 in terms of revenue, right? And over these years, like you can see, I've also been able to grow, my income level, by a lot. So if you're, maybe in the UK or you're in Nigeria, just to give context, you can do a lot, as high as 7 million naira monthly, depending on what you're working on, depending on how many clients you're serving at that particular time. So there's a lot for you here. I'll also be focusing not just on content marketing. I'll also be looking at email marketing as a form of digital marketing. We'll be looking at paid media for those of you who want to learn how to run ads and then run it profitably. Would also be looking at search engine optimization, SEO, what SEO means, how you can launch your brand, and then be able to get organic reach, without spending much. Then would also be talking about analytics as well as tracking, specific tools that you can use for measuring your campaigns, right? For those of you who have, maybe for businesses that have apps, you want to launch app campaigns, what you need, MMPs, which is like a mobile measurement partner, to help you really measure the effectiveness of your campaign. So there's a lot, here for you to if you join this class. And then also, if you're also looking at setting up like a website, and you just want to be getting money from ads, like AdSense and all of that, there's a lot to learn. So also, in terms of like some of the key concepts we'll be looking at, will be defining what digital marketing is. There will also be assignments, and that is like really, really the most important one. So if you're really, really serious, get the assignments done, get the work or the practicals that will be given to you. I think by the end of the class, I can beat my chest and say that you'll be able to learn, and then also be able to apply for jobs with just like what happened to one of our students, who has really done well in the class, and then gone ahead to get an internship. Probably the internship might last for 3 months, and then she might get either another job elsewhere, or retained in the at where she currently is. I would also be looking at it from like there's a framework called the Pride framework. This involves like being able to um look at the customer journey. We'll be talking a lot about the customer journey and how to actually optimize your campaigns. We would also be looking at optimizing each of those sales funnel, right? So whether it's acquisition, whether it's activation, retention, referral as well. So there's a lot to work on. We'd also be doing like automation. So for those of you who are who have of course signed up to a platform before, would be teaching you how to automate emails as well as automate throughout the life cycle. There are specific tools also, Clever Tap, for example, that will be showing you to help you set up campaigns within within the customer journey. What else? Then one more thing. So if you also have specifics, for those of you who are maybe advanced in digital marketing, and then you want to, go deeper into ASO, this is for app store optimization, maybe influencer marketing, which is also good, but also not just influencer marketing, but also how to measure influencer campaigns. These and many more are what I would be, taking in the class to literally help us launch our career and get it started with. Just like I said earlier, this class has like the lowest barrier to entry. This is like your easiest way to launch your career into tech. So if you decide, okay, after this marketing, I want to now go into software, this will lay, the groundwork for you to be able to, launch to other aspects. I think that would be all for now. So if there are any questions, specifics in terms of questions that you want to ask, this will be your time to, get to ask it, and then we'll take it from there. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, John. So for digital marketers, lovers, if you have any question, please kindly indicate on the chat or raise your hand as well, or you can wait till the end as well and ask everything at once. All right, because of our time, I'm going to be moving fast as well. So this next one is going to be starting next year, January. January, February next year, and it's a new course that we are just about to, start in the new year. And as you all know, everything is moving towards artificial intelligence, machine learning as well. So if you are interested and you want to leverage on that market now, before it becomes saturated, this is the opportunity to jump on the ship right now. So without further ado, David, over to you. Please, nothing more than 10 minutes. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Akin. All right. I'm going to share my screen now. Let me know when you can see it. All right.
Yeah, we can see.
All right. Can you see it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Basically, so I would more or less like just doing an oversight. My name is Awosami David. I'm a data analyst and AI machine learning engineer. I'm a data engineer. Basically, I create AI agents. I analyze data with my AI agents. I incorporate all this into my day-to-day activities. I've worked for about 5 years now across various industries, oil and gas, tech, finance, and FMCG presently, or currently, that's before. But now basically I'm actually more incorporated into the AI side of things. I help bring people to understand the essence of how you have GPTs, you have co-pilots and the likes. But then the way it is right now, it's on the sense of you incorporating this into your day-to-day and more or less like making everything quite efficient. So one thing I wanted to pick out on anything is this, right? If there's any task you're doing repeatedly every single day, you go to work, you You wake up in the morning, you do something repeatedly. Just know that that particular thing can always be automated, and that particular thing can be, how will I put it? That particular thing can actually be done by an AI agent in the sense of the essence of or the perspectives through which AI agents are actually intruding into the markets are things that are always done repeatedly. So it is actually reducing the element of error and actually bringing about perfection into those tasks exactly. So let me move on into this. So first off, introduction to AI and ML, right? When I say ML, I'm referring to machine learning exactly. So artificial intelligence here, as you have, and machine learning are revolutionizing industries, right? AI. So when I say AI, these are systems that simulate human intelligence. So for example, when you speak to when you type a prompt to GPT, now GPT is speaking to you in a language, it's speaking to you what we count as intelligence. So let me make it make more sense to you. So when I say intelligence, I mean an aspect of yourself, an information that is given to you that you did not know before. So what counts as an intelligent person is the factor that the person is able to pick up on something and be able to make it better in that sense. That's the principle of intelligence itself. Now, we as humans, we have what we call human intelligence. That means on the fact of how well we're able to perform tasks, how well we're able to score on things, first class, second class, and the likes, right? But now, AI, which is artificial intelligence, is the part of being able to simulate human intelligence, basically being able to do the same things you do, what you think, what you say, what you every single thing, being able to, as I say, simulate, that means the sense of equality towards what you do exactly. That's what AI is now. And what is machine learning? Now, machine learning is a subset of AI that learns patterns from data to make predictions. Now, in a sense, I told you that I build AI agents. Now, AI agents that are meant to simulate human intelligence. Now, with that AI agent, I'm able to incorporate this into machine learning that now helps when I bring this into data analytics, right? They're able to learn patterns from data to make predictions. That's the machine learning side of this. Now that's when we're referring to things like LLM. Those are models that basically keep on learning. So, for example, I give an AI a task. I say, do this, it returns a result back to me, and I say, okay, you know what, I don't like what you did. I feel like you should do this better, right? And it learns that, it has incorporated that. Now, in realistic terms, right, if I tell a human, I say, okay, hey, do this, right? Or let me say I have a dog, and I say, catch that bone, or I throw the bone to him. I say, okay, throw it back to me. He might not understand what I'm saying, right? But it gets instructions. Over time, he will actually get quite acquainted to it. Now, what differentiates an AI from the fact of a human is the sense of the amount of time it takes the human to learn. AI have the abilities to actually, they have the ability to just incorporate that instantly. Now, that instantaneous part is what gives them that sense of perfection to be able to actualize any task that they're given. Now, applications include healthcare, as I said, diagnosing diseases with AI tools, finance, fraud detection and risk management, technology, transportation. Trust me, when I say application, I mean, this is just a list of it. Application cuts across every single aspect of any company, literally anything you can think about, literally anything, AI can always be incorporated into it. So let's move on. Now, my next question is why AI and ML are actually important. Now, AI and ML are actually reshaping our world in the sense of, as I said, enhancing efficiency and productivity, enabling smarter decision making in businesses, driving personalized customer experiences, and helping address global challenges and climate change and pandemics. I feel like for me, yeah, the major prioritization is this, right? Enabling smarter decision making in businesses and driving personalized customer experiences. I mean, for me as a testament, in the sense of me incorporating AI agents into my work, is in the sense of I've realized that I've been able to help companies make smarter decision making with in businesses. For example, I mean, the amount of time to take for marketing guys to be able to incorporate data online, right? I just have to tell my AI agent, scrape as much data as it can online. It scrapes data as far back as 1990, and it's able to return this information back to me. It's able to analyze this information, look at the historical records on this, and be able to recommend best marketing campaigns to run on this. Now, imagine how wild that is. Now, with the aid of data, I'm actually being able to run this and actually being able to help businesses make smarter decision making in business. I mean, in as much as it is learning from the historical side of things, it's also trying to make the future part of it better. So it's enabling its futuristic predictions quite more accurate. That's the sense of everything. Yeah, let me just move on since this is quite just an overview. Career opportunities in AI and ML, right? We have that is data. Now, when I say all this, I'm expecting that people are beginning to leverage on their tasks, they're beginning to leverage on their skills in the sense of, as a data scientist right now, you should be able to incorporate AI into your work. That's why we have it here. We have machine learning engineers basically building and optimizing models. We have AI researchers. These are people that will be able to build agents, be able to help you research on these particular things. That's advancing the field of AI. We have AI product managers. These are overseeing AI-driven products. Now, when I say over AI-driven products, we have products like GPTs, co-pilots, and the like. We have Nvidia basically, and right now, Nvidia is actually like the highest valuable company. Even the most valuable company right now, it's not even Apple, it's Nvidia, which is actually an AI company itself. So that's to tell you where we're going to be in the next 5 years. I mean, do you understand? So basically that's it. We have specialist role, NLP, computer vision, robotics. There are a lot of career opportunities, like a whole lot, literally way more than what is written here. But I mean, this is just an overview. Required skills for AI and machine learning. Programming is actually very, 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 very fundamental side of it. I mean, for me to bring someone into the area of AI, it's expedient that you actually understand programming. Then with that, that is just all I need to learn to kickstart that into you. Mathematics, understanding principle of mathematics, statistics, linear and algebra. Tools include TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit, Learn. There are a lot of tools literally, but I mean, it's one step at a time. Another fundamental human need that we needed is the fact of problem solving and creativity, communication and teamwork. I mean, these are just the latter side of things that are kind of on the side towards being able to think outside the box, because it's expedient that, I mean, for me, every day is always a way for me to always think outside the box from the perspective that I get to look at life. Life is a moving vehicle, it's a moving vehicle, and in the sense of when you begin to look at it from an AI perspective, there's always this creativity that tends to steam up inside of you on how you tend to perspect on things. Um, yeah, so we have learning part here. So basically foundation, learn Python programming, study basic maths. Next one, study machine learning fundamentals, supervised and unsupervised learning, algorithms such as decision trees, SVM and K-means. We have explore AI domains, NLP. These are very, very important. That's why you have your chatbots like GPTs, translation tools. You know, when you begin to understand that anything when the most difficult aspect of AI is not even the fact of it returning the information back to you. It's in understanding what you give it. So, for example, if you tell ChatGPT, say, how are you? You say, hi, no, let me put it like this. How are you, ChatGPT? Right? How are you, ChatGPT, and hi, ChatGPT are two similar factors, right? So, I mean, if I'm writing an AI agent, it's expedient that I have that in my back of my mind so that with those particular two questions, the same answers are going to be relative. So it's so that the ability to be able to that's why you have natural language processing, because it's meant to speak to you without no form of artificial intrusion. It shouldn't look like you are speaking to a machine. It should look like you're speaking to like your brother or your sister or your friend, literally. People have actually come to the fact of actually being so friendly with AIs that, I mean, I've heard of so much cases where people prefer to speak with, I mean, they prefer to speak with ChatGPT, they prefer to speak with models, chatbots, even as speaking with their friends, because it's just so easy. I mean, that is the point of how this thing are built, to be able to bring you in and suck you into how, I mean, how will I put it, how explosive it can be in next 2 to 3 or 4 years, basically. I mean, learning parts, then we get to build project, we get to build creative, predictive models. I mean, participate in hackathons or competitions. I mean, along the way, we have advanced learning, deep learning and neural networks, reinforcement learning and AI, ethnics rather. Challenges and tip, I mean, is the steep learning curve. I mean, it's the fact of you actually being able to put yourself out there. All I would need from you is the fact of you being able to put yourself into the fact of why do you want to do this? Are you doing it because of the money? Or you feel like you want to make yourself relevant in the next 5 years? I mean, that is the basic thing. As long as you have that, it's a big deal. Competitive job market. Right now, AI enthusiasts are being looked for, right? If you do not understand AI in any aspect of your work, you're going to be left behind, and that's the truth. Anyone that's not using AI right now, there's something you're lacking, right? And it's going to be glaring, literally. Trust me, next by 2025, it's going to be really glaring. Because trust me, if the most valuable company right now is an AI company, I know what's coming next. I know what is coming next. So basically, what I'm saying here, the tips: stay curious and keep learning. Network with professionals, showcase skills with real world projects. Future of AI and AM, ML. AI will continue to shape industries, as I said. integration with emerging tech. Every single thing is going to be AI driven, and that's the truth. What will you learn in class? I mean, with us, basically, you get to understand fundamental concepts of AI and ML, practical programming skills with Python, core ML techniques, hands-on experience, application of AI in real-world scenarios, and best practices by building AI solutions responsibly. Yeah, that is it for me. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, David. I don't know whether there's anyone on the call interested in AI ML. If you are on this call, you can ask your question or drop your question on the chat as well. I'll be picking up. Oh, there's a question for the can get the form for digital marketing. So if you are anyone, so the Google form that we dropped, just fill in your details there, whether it's digital marketing you are interested in, whether it's masterclass, anyone, just fill in your details and we'll follow up. How long is the AI course? The AI course will be uh 5 to 6 month course. That's to iPhone. So it will be 5 to 6 month journey. As we believe in the theory of what is worth doing at all is worth doing well, So yeah, it will take that long. We are looking between 5 to 6 months to cover that, to cover the syllabus for you to be well equipped before you start going out there and competing for work, job. Kazim, you can unmute and ask your question. Kazim, are you there? Have you got a question? You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Kazim. All right, no question. All right, let's move on quickly so that we can be able to cover everything. All right, if you're on the call and you've been hearing about data analysis, right? This is the opportunity as well. Yes, masterclass is starting next week. Oluwadara Semi. Yeah, the masterclass will be starting next week by God's grace. All right. So for those who are interested in data analysis, we've been hearing that buzzword, right? And you want to get into it, but before you get into it, you want to learn more about what it entails. This is the opportunity to do so as well. So our data analysis is for 5 months, and you'll be you'll be trained on 5 industry standard tools as well. So you'll be trained on Excel, you'll be trained on SQL, you'll be trained on Tableau, you'll be trained on Power BI, and you'll be trained on Python, right? So that's why it's a 5 months. Or we have another 2 months for data analysis as well. If you don't want to learn everything, we have another 2 months just for Excel, SQL, then PowerPoint. So we have that. We have a 2 month course for data analysis, and we have a 5 month course for data analysis. It all depends on the one that you want to go for as well. All right. There's a question quickly before we go to data analysis on AI. All right. David, are you still on there? Oh, David is no longer online. All right. 1 second. Kazim, maybe your question will need to. No, I did that, but I prefer to let me see the question if it's something I can answer. If not, I tried to unmute you, Kazim, but I don't know what happened. Yes, I tried to unmute him. I allowed him, but I don't know what happened. But anyway, Kazim, just drop you can raise your hand later on as well, as I don't even have David online now. And we'll be taking the question at the end of the session, if you don't mind. Kazim, please kindly drop your question on the chat. Thanks. So quickly, let's move on to data analysis. For those interested in data analysis, as I said, we have a 2-month course for data analysis and we have a 5-month course. 2-month course is Excel, SQL, PowerPoint, and the 5-month course will cover Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, Python as well. So without further ado, in 10 minutes, Itwen, over to you, please. Thanks.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, so my name is Itwen. I have about 5 years industry experience working as a data analyst, mostly in the e-commerce and retail sector. I hold a degree in computer science. So I want to start by saying that every enterprise basic objective is to make profits. And in making profit, you must take strategic decisions. And in taking strategic decisions, to a greater extent, you must depend from the insight that you derive from your business transaction records. So that gives rise to the importance of data analysis. All right. So I'll start by saying that data analysis involves using statistical techniques to transform your business records to uncover insight that helps the business managers or the stakeholders to make strategic decision that impacts on the business processes and also the return on investment. All right. So now data analysis involves a lot of processes, yeah, systematic approach. All right. So it involves you understanding the business questions, identifying the right data points, cleaning the data point, transforming it, and exploring the data, then present your findings to the stakeholders. Please stay with me. I'm heading somewhere. All right. So data analysis also can be categorized into 4 major types. So we have the descriptive analysis that asks the question, what happened? All right. It deals with your historical data. All right. Why did it happen? Talks about the diagnostic analysis. What will happen? Talks about predictive analysis. And we have how can we make it happen? Talks about the prescriptive analysis. Okay. So we understand that in today's world, that it's data that rules the world, that drives the world. So your ability to analyze and interpret data is a critical skill. You know, businesses that harness the power of data analysis, they are well positioned, you know, to adapt to changing market conditions, to meet customers' needs, and also drive growth and profitability. All right. So as a result of this, so the demand for skillful, the rising demand for data analysts makes the career path becomes a very lucrative opportunity for any skillful professional across any industry that you can think about. So if you look at the chart by my extreme right, you can see the data analytics market size is on the increasing path. All right. So you can see the prediction that in 2030, that the market size of data analytics will be $346.33 billion. That's huge. All right. That's huge. That shows the value and the importance of the career. All right. Okay, so let's look at the technical skills required. So in delving into data analytics, you have need of these key technical skills. There are so many skills. There are so many skills in the stack. All right. But we have identified the key ones that can make you break into the space and compete favorably. So expertise in SQL, Excel, Python, Power BI, Tableau, and many other analytics skills, like I rightly said, but our emphasis are on SQL, Excel, Python, Power BI, and Tableau. All right. So another skill that we also emphasize on is soft skills. All right. Your ability to communicate your findings, your insights to both to both the technical audience and non-technical audience. All right. You must also develop these skills so that you'll be able to uncover trends and also communicate your findings in a format that they can understand and implement. All right. So that makes communication very important because at the end of your analysis, you must be able to pass the information that you've derived to the next person, which are your audience, in a format that they can translate it into a practical form. All right. Okay. So another thing is business acumen. So business acumen. So on the part of business acumen, so a strong domain knowledge is required in any sector that you find yourself. All right. You should be also be able to identify the KPIs that are relevant in that sector. Right. So this is one of the things, I always tell people, the job of a data analyst is not about putting out numbers. It's beyond putting out numbers. You must have a good knowledge of your space, the space you're working in, to be able to identify the relevant KPIs that fit into the business objective of that environment. And not only that, you also have to be able to communicate your findings. You're not just there to make to churn out numbers. You're there to address a problem. You're there to address a need. So as a data analyst, you see yourself as a solution provider. It's not just projecting numbers, projecting figures, but beyond projecting numbers and projecting figures, how do you translate that numbers and that figures into something applicable that can transform the business or that can transform the environment that you're working in. So all these skills work together, all right? The technical skill, the soft skill, the business acumen skill. These are the things that you need to be an effective and a good data analyst, all right? So let's look at the career advantage. Okay, so I always tell people that data analyst, if there is any career that I know is rewarding, is data analytics. All right. Apart from the fact that it's a knowledge-driven career path, which I like telling people is a knowledge-driven career path. The pay is satisfying. All right. So I can say the pay is the gains of venturing into this skill, giving your time into this is satisfying. All right. So there's a lucrative salary, diverse opportunities. What do I mean by diverse opportunity? Like I said, is a knowledge-driven career path. So you can transition into anything, like the last speaker said about machine learning and artificial intelligence. All right. What a good way to move into machine learning and artificial intelligence. So as a data analyst, you're already prepared for it. You can launch into any of these career paths within data ecosystem seamlessly, all right, without having so much difficulty. So it launches you into possibilities. There's so much possibilities that are available once you have already gain that basic knowledge, gain that knowledge of a data analyst once you're already a data analyst. So you can easily transition into data engineering, business intelligence, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. All of that are all possibilities that are available in the career path of a data analyst. Okay, another thing is continuous learning. Like I said earlier, that is a knowledge-driven career path. All right. As much as I like I market the career to people. I also like telling people that you won't want to left, you don't want to stay. You can decide your future as a data analyst, all right? If you want to stay there in one position, you can stay there for many years, as long as you want. But if you want to continue making impact, continue becoming relevant, if you want your relevance in the field to be continuous, then you must expose yourself to continuous learning. There's no cap in the learning path. It's a continuous learning because new technologies are developing every day. New technologies. So you are able to expose yourself to this learning career path. So another thing is global relevance. All right. You are relevant. You're not only limited to your space. All right. Your skill is applicable everywhere. Everywhere. You're not limited to your space. What you know, the knowledge that you've gained is applicable in any environment, in the UK, in the US, wherever you find yourself, their knowledge is applicable everywhere. All right. So that makes you globally relevant. All right. So on the future outlook, all right, the importance of data analytics is that the importance of data analytics will grow as technology evolve and data volume increases. And you know that as technology is evolving, data volume is also increasing. All right. There are so many technologies that are deployed into the system currently. All right. Data is on the increase. So the role of a data analyst, data ecosystem as a whole has come to stay. I like using the word as a data analyst, you are eternally relevant because there's nothing you will do today that you want to scale that you won't need data. You will need data-driven decision to scale. If you must scale, then you must find out to track. You must track your previous activities, your current activities, look at the data and see how to use that to scale. All right. So another thing is advancement in AI and machine learning. So this will enhance data analytics capabilities, fostering innovation, like the last facilitator said, all right? The advantage of machine learning and AI, it boosts productivity, all right? It boosts productivity. So you can see what the future holds, all right? So another thing is data analytics professionals will be essential in shaping organizational strategy and making impact, all right? As a data analyst, you are a key component of any organization. All right. Most data analysts report directly to the CEO. You're very key in any company, in any organization, because in making decision, they will always fall back to you to find out what their business records are saying. All right. And you are relevant in any industry. There's virtually no sector that you can think about now that does not require data. You'll be so shocked to know that even churches are now employing data analysts. You'll be so shocked to know that even mosque, religion, they are employing data analysts. Because why? Everybody wants to scale. Everybody wants to improve. And in improving, you want to analyze your activities. You want to analyze your activities. And now the role of a data analyst becomes very vital. That day will never come when a data analyst will become irrelevant. It is on the increase. It's so I don't know how to say, but the role is on the increase. All right. So stay with me. So all of this I'm trying to say is I'm pointing us to the need of adopting the career path in data analysis. All right. So what are the basic knowledge level that you require in venturing into this career path? I want to tell you a story, a very brief story. when I'm privileged to talk to people that you don't need a career, you don't need to be tech inclined for you to venture into data. Some people think that you're trying to boo-boo them, you're trying to woo them into picking up, into coming on the platform. But I was so shocked in the last cohort that just ended last month that my best student is a barrister. When I said my best student, I interface with my student one-on-one. My best student is a lawyer. And I feel so challenged. So apart from the normal classwork, I wanted to really understand this person. So I started pushing some tasks to her, apart from the normal classwork, some advanced tasks. I will send it to her. 2, 3 days, she will send it back. I will look at it. So in my mind, I was maybe there's somebody that she's using to get this task done, or maybe she's using AI support. But there's no how you use ChatGPT and all of that to do a task. I will know. There's no how you use it. Even if you paraphrase some of yourself, I will know. But at some point, I started engaging her. I now discovered that this person is actually the one that did most of this, that did all of these tasks that I pushed to her. So what am I trying to say? Everything in life is all about mindset. If you think you can do it, you can do it. If you think you cannot do it, you have already put a limitation. There's nothing nobody can do to help you. So it's all about the attitude, the mindset, and your approach. So if you have determined to come into data, welcome on board. You're not going to regret it. There's a lot you stand to enjoy. Like I've listed out the career path, I've listed out the possibilities, I've listed out the reward and all of this. Everything that I've said there, you stand to experience it firsthand. I didn't take time to tell you how I started. Because funny enough, I have never had the privilege of enrolling myself in any training platform. All right. So what happened is, one of these days, I love numbers. Naturally, I love numbers. But though I'm a tech person, I started my career as an internet networking guy. So I didn't find fulfillment. So one day I just decided that, okay, that I'm switching. I started talking with friends of mine that were into data. All of a sudden, I met my CTO. I told my CTO that I want to be assigned to data team. He told me, he said, do you know the implication of that? I said, yes, I know, because I'm already holding a higher position. He said, do you know the implication of that? I said, yes. He said, it's going to affect your salary. They will drop. I said, no problem. Let them assign me. I was assigned to the data team. And that is how my career in data started. I was making every mistake. I didn't care. They would tell it when it's this. I didn't care. And that's why I keep telling people that mistake is your friend. When you make a mistake, it's a pointer that you are about to learn something new. And if you're afraid of making mistake when you come to data, then you may not learn anything. But don't make mistake and go and drop your tables. All right. so that is all I can say. So this platform offers every one of us the opportunity to come on board, to learn most of these things. There is a lot you stand to benefit. There is a lot that you stand to benefit. Like I've itemized it, we have listed out the key tools that we have taken time to extract because of the industrial demands. We're not saying there are no other efficient tools. I use so many tools. I use Looker. I use ClickView. I use so many. There are a lot of tools that I use, all right? But these are the key tools that are relevant in today's data space, all right? You will see most companies advertising for Power BI developer, SQL developer, Excel. So These are the key things that when you arm yourself with, you are able to break into the space of data analytics, and you're going to also make meaningful impact like some of us have done in the few years that we have been in the system. How will you feel that because of the advice that you gave to a company, their revenue tripled? How will you feel that because of the advice that you gave to a company, their customer retention rate increased? How will you feel that because of the advice that you gave to a company, the company that was on the path of crashing suddenly picks up? That is one of the rewards. You look at it, you feel so satisfied that people can depend on your decision to make, can depend on your advice to make critical decisions. So for every one of you that are interested in data analytics, I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you in the class where we will explore data from every aspect. Our classes are practical based. We are not downplaying on the theoretical part of it. As much as possible, we try to balance the theoretical part and the practical part. But I hope that is an experience that anybody wouldn't want to miss. And for those of you who are interested, I encourage you to come on board, and you will have the same experience that others have had. And I look forward to meeting you. Thank you. If there's any questions, so I'm open to picking up the questions and provide possible answers. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Itwin. If you have any question, please, you can quickly drop your question before we move on. We still have like 3 more to go, and I'm very conscious of the time as well. So if you have any question, please, you can raise your hand. I will unmute you, or you can drop your question on the chat as well. Or again, you can wait till the end of the whole presentation, and you can ask any question you want to ask at that point. All right, moving on. If I see any question, I'm going to pause and ask that question. If not, then moving on, for those who are interested in, all right, but before that, data analysis runs twice a week. It runs every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. UK time. The next cohort is starting next week, Tuesday. So if you are interested, there'll be a number at the end of the session that you can message to show your interest as well. All sessions are recorded just in case you miss any class as well. So that is that about data analysis. I'll be talking more about all of them at the end of the session as well. So the next one on the list is if you are considering software testing, or you've been hearing about software testing, we have a good package put together as well. So our software testing is another 5-month program, and you'll be trained on 4 different type of testing. You'll be trained on manual testing, you'll be trained on API testing, you'll be trained on performance testing as well. So without further delay, Emmanuel, over to you. Please 10 minutes. If you can keep it to 10 minutes, please. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Please, you all can hear me. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly. While I do that, a brief introduction about myself. So my name is Emmanuel, Senior Quality Assurance, Software Assurance Engineer. I've worked in the IT space for like more than 10 years now. I started my journey in 2014 during my university days, but by the grace of God, I've touched some key points in IT, and I would say so far QA has been the best because it's very much flexible. Okay, so for some of us that has interest towards IT, the technical part, the core technical part that has to do with coding and all those things, I would say that QA is an easy entry to that level, because in QA, we look at the manual part and we look at the automation part. First of all, what's even QA to start with? So QA, just like the name states, quality assurance, is just for us to provide quality to all products or to any product that's being shipped out to target customers. Okay. The funny thing there is that when we look at QA, we think it's something big, but the truth is that every one of us on this call, in a way or two, we are all QA engineers, because if you've used an application as little as Facebook, or maybe your mobile banking application or anything, in fact, if you use a smartphone, or if you even use a phone, if you can differentiate and say, oh, I like this phone, or I prefer this phone over this phone, or I like this application over this application, trust me, you're a QA engineer. It's just that you don't know. Okay. So QA, to the nitty-gritty, means you are just there to ensure that what's being shipped out to the customers exactly meets their need, and there are no bugs, there are no exposures. Okay. By the grace of God, I've been privileged to work across multiple industries, which includes e-commerce, financial institution. I'm just exiting Access Bank, one of Africa's largest bank, and I've been able to work on multiple projects. And I tell you this thing, the approach is all the same. Okay, we are just there to make sure that the application that is are just there to make sure that the application that is being shipped out to the customers meets their needs, and it's also less prone to attacks, mischievous attacks and all those things. So in QA, you can look at it from two aspects. And trust me, any of this that you decide to master, okay, there is a drive which comes from you as a person trying to learn. And there's also a responsibility from us to teach you. Remember when Akin was doing the introduction, he said something about 50-50. We do our best to give you and equip you all you need. And there's also a responsibility on your own side to push yourself further. Okay. There are two sides to it, and any of the sides you decide to cling to, trust me, you are good to go. You can take it up from the junior to the medium to the high level to senior and all those things, and you'll be paid well. Okay. In ranking, I will tell you that QAs are being ranked almost the same, in the same shoe with software engineers. Yes, software engineers that write the code and all those tech gurus and stuff. The ranking, it's all almost side by side. Okay, so that's to emphasize on the importance of QA. So you don't see it as something that is very low in IT. No, it's actually as important as the QA person, as important as the software, the project manager or the data analyst. It's all ranked on the same level. Okay, so there are two aspects, like I said, the manual side and the automation side. Okay, the manual side is what every of us on this call do. Before you use the application, at some point you complain, this application is slow. This feature should be here. Why is it that on WhatsApp I can upload? I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time what's it called? Instagram first went live with status updates. They were the first people that implemented that feature. Before you know what's happening, it's now cut across all social media platforms. So let's say some people using WhatsApp at some point started, writing reviews or comments. We need this feature. We need this. We need it. Trust me, this is what you do as a QA. Okay. You test the application, yes, to ensure quality. Second of all, you also try to look at the target audience, the market, this thing that is being shipped out with the current trend, the trend and the social whatever that it's in play. Does it meet demand? Is this something that people can easily pick up and adopt, with the speed of light? So these are the things that PMs most times look at it from the business point of view. Okay, you now as a QA, you are the gap that bridge the technical part, which is the software development part, and also the business point of view. You try to marry them together, making sure that yes, there will be compromises, but you make sure that your compromises are being guarded with risk. Okay, so as a QA engineer, you need to have that smart mindset, because there's no linear way to testing. Okay, there are multiple ways to achieve one thing, and in QA, you're actually testing using multiple scenarios. Okay, the last cohort and the two cohorts that we've had so far, we get to look at things from different perspective. Okay, I want to log in. Okay, it's not just logging in, but I want to log in as a false user. I want to log in as someone that is trying to hack the system. I want to log in as as a valid user. So all these things are the scenarios you're playing around. Okay, as a QA engineer. You can decide to do the manual one, which is if there's an application you want to test, you install the application, use it as a normal user. So you're not actually doing anything from high level. You're just testing it or using the application just like every other person that will use it. Now you start to note things to adjust, note things that are not working, note things that are working, note where there needs to be improvements and all those things. That's what you do as a QA. Okay. Then on the other part of it, which is automation, that's where you now have to do it. David, if I remember correctly, that took us on AI. Okay, so something similar to that. So you actually write scripts that would run this test for you, because a product, yes, the QA the project manager said something about projects. Yes, a project has a beginning and end. Yes, but in software development, yes, everything is bundled down. The agile is bundled down into sprints. That means we have something that we are achieving this period of time. Okay, next month, this is what we are going to achieve. That's the project. Next time, this is what. So you as a QA engineer, you have to make sure that at each and every point of everything that is being shipped out, that it's meeting customer demand, and also that the application is not prone to attacks and all those stuff. So in QA automation, most times when they make a fix or when they push a new feature, there's a need for you to retest the application. Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed there was a time that, for those of you in Nigeria, there was a time that there is this blackout in the financial industry because people were using some application, it was failing, they did some upgrade and all those things. So these are the things that you as a QA will ensure doesn't meet your customers, because it would, at the end of the day, give you a bad reputation. Okay, so in that situation where you need to be doing repetitive test, whenever there's a fix, you test what has been fixed, then you test the whole application to make sure everything is fine. So in that situation, you can, instead of doing it manually every time, you can actually write scripts that would automate. So whenever there's a fix, you just click a button and the whole thing runs. It shows you what is passing and what is failing and all those things. So the beauty of QA is that you can actually get to senior role in QA as a manual tester. It needs little or no in-depth core IT. What I mean by core IT is writing scripts and all those stuff. Okay. Normal, if you have a functioning brain, which I believe every one of us here has, and if you can see beyond the ordinary, if you can look at the market, know where the trend is, know what people is expecting. I mean, I cannot open my banking app and I'm seeing sports there, and I'm seeing maybe betting and all those things. So there's everything tailored to each industry. Okay. So if you are able to look at these things and make a decision and say, okay, I think this is this, this is that. In IT as a whole, QA fall under the governance. Governance means that we are the ones that we are part of the people, the governing body that say, okay, this is what should go forward to production, or this is what should be rolled back and fixed. So you have that power. Yes, and you can achieve that or attain to that level even without writing code. Yes, on the automation part, you have to write codes. Yes. Okay. And on course of our training, we don't just do the QA part. We also have this class. We always do introduction to JavaScript. So JavaScript is one of the most versatile languages, and it's very, very much easy to learn. So we take our time to learn the basics that will set us on the right path to automate. So we are not just giving you the QA principles, the QA tools and stuff. We are also taking you through an introductory part of JavaScript. And trust me, if you build on that, you can even build on that to become a software engineer. Okay, it all depends on your push and your drive. So there's a lot that is involved in QA, the API level test, the UI test, the performance test. So all these keywords, you get to know them. You get to know the expectation and each area and the different area each of them applies to. So I'm looking forward to as many that would like to be on this journey. I promise you to be very much engaging and entertaining. And at the end of the day, you really get the value of what you subscribe to. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, John. So if you have question, please just wait. We will soon, we're almost there. You can ask your question. Just jot it down for now, and you ask your question at the end of the session. I just want to move on quickly so that we can cover the rest as well. So please, for you not to forget your question, you can drop it on the chat or you can raise your hand and I'll be calling you later on as well. All right, quickly, let's move on again to product management. So if you are interested in becoming a product manager, this is another combo whereby you'll be trained on product management, UI, UX, and I believe Scrum as well. So without further ado, Michelle, over to you. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the product management section. I believe we've learned so much exciting things today, but I will just be bringing a different viewpoint on something else that tech has to offer us. Before we get into what product management is, a bit about who I am and my experience. My names are Nkirika Michelle Achako. I am a practicing product and project manager and I have been doing this for over 5 years. I'm almost entering my 6th year. I have worked in industries ranging from e-commerce to education to IT services to software as a service and a lot more. And I also have a background in digital marketing and cybersecurity. When it comes to the product management experience, of course, I have been integral and I have successfully launched 5 new products into the market and also been a part of the maintenance and iterations of different products that exist in our market today. Fun fact, I did read banking and finance, so I was supposed to be a banker. I went to University of Benin, and I did, although I was in Uniben, start my career in education as a relationship manager. But the opportunity arose to make the switch, and I really knew that that wasn't the career for me. So I leaped into product management, and the rest that they will say is history. Currently, I am the growth product manager at Peer Money, and this is a business management fintech tool. And I also do freelancing for other industries. So, enough about me. Let's get down into what the hell product management is about. Product management is basically the business process of planning, developing, launching, and managing a product or service. Now, what do we mean by that? When you want to take something to market, it is considered a business process. You don't just say, oh, I'm going to market, bam, I'm ready, I have prepped a bunch of items and I want to go to market. There are processes that come into play. Some will say you do a bit of research to find out how your customers or your competitors currently fare in that industry, how much it would actually cost you to even enter it, and a bunch of other questions that you ask. So what we do in product management is we do this for companies. We help companies plan their products, develop their products, launch their products, and also manage the product through the different phases. And products range from physical to services, from hardware to software. So our field is something that spans different industries seamlessly. Now, the person that is in charge or takes on the duty of doing the business processes from planning to management is the product manager. So, to simply put, a product manager is someone that recognizes that there is a need. Because before you choose to enter an industry, you as a business person have cited that there is a need for this particular item. So what we do is we look and we find the need of customers and then we develop a solution for their need. But then we also keep in mind that it has to tie to what our organization has in mind when it comes to their vision, their mission, their goals and objectives. So we take that end, we take the end of the customer need, and we flesh out a concrete solution that we then develop by planning and then take to market to see how that will perform. Once a product manager has seen that a solution has merits, what they do is they mobilize the resources of the team, taking it from concept to something that is practical. So customers are able to utilize it, give us feedback, and continue to improve. A lot of the solutions that we use today, for example, our WhatsApp, which is a common tool that we use for chatting, was not the way it was in the beginning. All you could do on WhatsApp was add a number and chat with the person. Then WhatsApp introduced status updates. Then WhatsApp introduced sending VNs. Then WhatsApp introduced sending files. These were iterations. These were the products of product management, where we see a need, we cite the importance of that need, we research, we plan it, we develop it, and then we take it to market to see how the audience will receive that need. And of course, we take the feedback from the customers to see if the need that we have identified is actually something that we should continue to invest in, or maybe we need to just recalibrate and bring it through a different angle. Because you might create something that it just might not be the right time. It doesn't mean it's not a great product. It just needs to be put on pause. So the decision falls squarely on the product manager, of course, with the backing of the CEO. But the core work is on the shoulders of the product manager. Now, why should you leap into product management right now? Becoming a product manager now can be incredibly rewarding due to different trends in tech, business, and consumer behavior. There are always problems, and our work is solutioning those problems. So no matter how the industry is growing and changing, there is a need for what we do, because we are the brain box behind the different products that you use today, down to your phones, your chargers, your hair dryers, your hair straighteners. It was the brain box of what we would call a product manager. And as time has gone on, our field has rapidly increased in the recent years. But then, without just talking about how we are the brain box, let's talk about other reasons why you should jump into product management right now. One, our departments, what we do, there's high demand for what we do, simply because everybody is moving into the digital space. Coming into the digital space shows that there is a need for you to create a solution that allows you penetrate that digital space. And that is what we do. Even non-tech solutions like people in retail, ed, and co are seeing the benefits of software because it helps you reach further audiences. So you can be in, say, the UK, and with your education solution, you can reach people that are, say, in Singapore. So that's what software does, and that is what our role would seamlessly fill and allow. The next thing we do is, because it's so broad, the work that we do is so broad, you have the opportunity to pick up skills from different sections, and you can specialize as time goes on. So you can start in product management, see the benefit, and choose to say, okay, focus on certain parts. From product management, you can see a bit of business analysis, a bit of Scrum, a bit of UI UX, a bit of research. We do so many things, and with this in mind, you are then able to make a decision as to which would best suit you and your skill set. The next thing is, what we do has an impact on the business's success. What we create is what will bring money for the business. So when your business is hitting milestones, it's on the shoulder of the product that was created. If you want to confidently be able to brag of a solution like MoneyPoint and Paystack, it came from someone's brain idea for a need that they cited and just needed to be filled. So what we do tells down into the history of the organization, because when we continue to iterate and upgrade our product, the iteration brings the organization more funding. Also, we are resilient. No matter what happens in the industry, product management will always stand the test of time. And lastly, the attractive salaries and growth opportunities are limitless when it comes to what we offer. So basically, product management is growing and evolving. It gives significant opportunities for impact, growth, and career satisfaction. If you want to work in an intersection of tech, business, and design, this is where you should be spending your time and interest on. So what does our course offer? You heard Mr. Akin speak about how it has the UX side, the tech side, and the business side. We'll be covering these three different sides into four different concepts that we have broken them down into. We have the concepts of product management, so all the different concepts, terminologies, and background work that makes up product management is covered in here. We have the UI UX section where we look at how design plays a role into what product management does and the intersection between these two parts. We have the Scrum, of course. You would often need to take up multiple roles as a product manager. So you should be familiar with the Scrum and sprint planning activities. And this is something that we would cover. And then, of course, we have marketing your product because it's one thing to create an amazing solution, but time and effort needs to go into taking it to market. So what are those things that help you market your product and get the right audience? We would also cover those concepts. What are the traits that you need to be a product manager? You just need to have curiosity. You need to be curious about how different products work and why they function that way, because it then translates from curiosity to what do they call? Well, from curiosity to creation. If you're curious as to how a particular company has cornered the market, if you're curious as to how a particular solution came and became an earth shaker, then this is the field for you. We also have adaptability, a desire for problem solving, and being resilient and persistent, because product management, as fun and as broad as it sounds, is very testing. There are times that you can continually be pushing out something and then nothing happens, and then one day you push one thing and it's a success. So you need to have the ability to keep pushing through the different situations that are thrown at you, the challenges that are thrown at you, and not take it as a sign as you're a bad product manager. It might just not be the right time. So if you have these four skills, you definitely should give us a consideration, because we definitely are where you would probably shine best. What's the career path in product management? Basically, when I said you could specialize, we learned so many things that you can actually specialize, from product design to Scrum mastery to being a product owner, a UX researcher, a UI UX designer, a product specialist. You can even go on to be a technical writer, a marketing manager for products, growth product manager, which I currently am, and then a product analytics manager or an SEO manager. And when you jump into this field, the salary averages from $40,000 to $88,000 on average in the United States. And as you grow from associate PM to senior PM to growth PM to director of PM, VP of PM, and CPO, which is chief product officer, so does your career and your pay grow. By the time you, of course, reach the upper echelon, which is the chief product officer, you are looking at about 300,000 on average payday, if this is the career path for you every year. As we said, this course has 4 sections. We are going to be running it 3 times a week. It's going to run for 3 months, and the classes usually last about 2 hours. We use a host of tools that range from Figma to Jira to Trello, Excel presentation, the Plot.io, and Google Docs. So definitely you would also get to pick up on some cool tools that would add to your ability to be an efficient and great product manager. At this point, I will stop here and I will hand over to Mr. Aki to handle the any questions section, and I'll just be on standby if anything is thrown towards me. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Michelle, for that. Again, just one more to go, and we'll open the line for questions and answers as well. And I just got a few more slides to share as well. Then we wrap it up. So if you have questions, please just hold on one, for a few more minutes. So if you're on the call as well, you are interested in database administrator, you want to learn more as well, this is the opportunity. So without wasting too much of time as well, please, Michael, over to you. Take the floor.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen. All right, tonight I'm going to be, thank you all for waiting and all this. So let's just, good evening. Welcome to the future of data. So you can embark on this journey as a database administrator / engineer. It's the same thing. So, fun fact, did you know that 80% of companies worldwide are seeking skilled database administrators and engineers to handle their growing data needs? Data is being generated. I think other facilitators have spoken about how data is generated in an enormous capacity. So based on this, companies require database administrators, more than 80% of them, because you need them to handle SQL and NoSQL databases. This is what this course is all about. So meet your facilitator. My name is Adeniran Michael. I'm a certified engineer. Before I decided, I worked in a power company before I decided to call it quits. I worked as a maintenance engineer before I moved into data analysis. Then from data analysis, I moved to database administration and engineering and data engineering. So what is database administration? Database administration is a specialized field of computer science and engineering. It focuses on designing systems that drive business data, development of databases, management of databases, creating and maintaining the structures and systems that store, organize, and retrieve data. So basically what we call a database is simply where data is stored, okay, where data is stored. So I know sometimes when you want to register for a new website, they ask you for your name, your password, many other things. So where that particular data is stored is where we call, or what we call, a database. So the database administration is that part that helps us to design the database and data modeling. Then a database administrator also does something. You secure the data and you perform what we call performance tuning. That's to make the database work properly. And another thing is that you perform data migration, backup and recovery, scaling, and you scale the database when need be. So database admins work with various database management systems like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, SQL Server, MongoDB, etc. So this is how everything surrounds you. You do the modeling, you do the indexing, you do performance tuning, you do backup and recovery. You are the guy in charge of all these things. You secure the database. You make sure that people should not have access to the data they shouldn't have access to. So why choose us at Learn with Pride to take you through this journey? We have industry recognized instructors. Weekly assessment will be given to every single student or trainee, so we can get to know your progress. Then there's real world projects to build our portfolio, one every month. Okay, so there's hands-on training on trending tools. Okay, so we are going to learn what is trending in the industry currently. So what roles can a database admin or engineer apply for? You can apply for the role of a database engineer, which you can be in charge of design and you'll be the guy to maintain database systems or applications or softwares and all that. Then you can be a database administrator, which is you manage and secure organizational data. So all this data that we discussed, that data is being generated, you can also work as data engineer, database architect, database developer, and data analyst. The thing is that all this data that is being generated in the data field or in the data ecosystem, we have two broad groups. So we have the data producers and the data consumers. So you fall under the category, as a database administrator, you fall under the category of data producers. So there are data consumers and data producers. Your software engineer is a data producer. Data engineers are data producers. Database engineers are data producers. Then we have data consumers, which data analysts, machine learning engineers, data scientists, and all that fall under that category. So Eric Schmidt, the executive chairman at Google, said there are 5 exabytes of information created between the dawn of civilization through 2003. But that much information is now created every 2 days. So if this magnitude of information is created every 2 days, it's because everything around you is now generating data from your IoT devices, Internet of Things, your wristwatches, your shoes, we have television sets, we have fridge, almost anything now is generating data. So Internet of Things simply means that anything that's been given capacity to know data and report it to a tool. So information is the oil of the 21st century and analytics is a combustion engine. So this information ought to be kept somewhere and kept securely. Because if information is collected or data is collected and is not collected properly, it then means that what the data analyst or data scientist will be doing will entirely be wrong. Okay, so data ought to be collected properly, kept securely. Then access will be given to those who need it to make informed decisions. So how do we become database administrators or engineers in 4 months? This journey will take us 4 months. So about this training will introduce you to the world of database administration and engineering. You will learn how to go through the entire database administration process, which include database design, data modeling, schema development, query optimization, indexing, data security, performance tuning, backup, and recovery. So the training curriculum, in this particular training, we are going to be using MySQL Workbench to learn SQL, advanced SQL, database design and modeling. And we are going to learn how to automate a lot of processes in our databases. Then we are going to learn how to use Python for database administration. Then we are going to learn NoSQL. NoSQL, under NoSQL simply means not only SQL. SQL means structured querying language. You use it to deal with structured data. Then we have NoSQL, not only SQL. You use it to deal with semi-structured and unstructured data and even structured data. So we are going to learn about php-admin and how to use it. Then we are going to learn Linux commands and shell scripting. That's how to deal with your computer, how to open different folders, how to create folders without going through real stress. So everything we are going to do is that there will be a capstone project, and this is a real work experience imitation. That's everything we are going to be doing. So under SQL, we are going to understand the basics of SQL, CRUD operations. CRUD simply means create, read, update, and delete operations. We are going to learn it. Then we are going to focus on the MySQL dialect of SQL. SQL has many dialects, but once you learn one, you'll be able to replicate it in other dialects. So we are going to understand the importance of databases and the role of structured query language, which is SQL. We are going to learn how to write queries and advanced queries. Then we are going to learn how to automate processes with functions, triggers, stored procedures, and indexing. Then we are going to learn how to use MySQL for database management, and you are going to learn how to monitor database performance. Then we'll learn how to design databases using forward and reverse engineering. Then we are going to understand database administration and how to optimize a database. Then we'll understand how to analyze data using SQL. So MongoDB, we are going to understand NoSQL. I told you it means not only SQL. And the difference between relational databases and non-relational databases, we are going to learn it. Relational databases are the ones that we use SQL to deal with, okay? Structured query languages means the data is structured. So anything that you arrange in rows and columns is structured data. So we have learned, then we'll learn about different NoSQL databases, like the column type, we are going to learn about Cassandra and the rest, but basically in this course, we are going to be focusing on MongoDB because it is one of the most important and one of the best. So we are going to understand the basics of MongoDB and how to query data in MongoDB. Then we are going to understand what we mean by collections, clusters, and how to aggregate data in MongoDB. Then we are going to understand how to do indexing and how to monitor the performance of our queries in MongoDB. All right, then we are going to learn Python. We are going to understand the basics of Python. We are going to understand advanced Python. Then we are going to understand the use of Python in data manipulation. Then we'll understand how to connect Python to MySQL databases and create queries. Then we are going to understand how to connect Python to querying, for querying MongoDB databases also, because there are a lot of things you can do in Python without even going to your database. Then we are going to understand Linux commands and shell scripting. This is a very, very important scripting language. So you can use it to automate backup. You can use this language to automate different processes. You can use it to understand process management, understand file management, understand how to navigate your computer without actually opening it through the file manager. So do I need a computer science background to actually learn this? Absolutely no. You do not need a computer science background. All you need is determination, a mindset that you want to learn and grow, because at Learn with Pride, we will give you everything you need. And we are going to take it from the basics down to the advanced, up to the advanced level. So that's what we do. And you do not need a computer science background. I didn't have a computer science background. I studied mechanical engineering. From there, I decided to pivot into tech because I needed more time for my family and my other businesses. So I needed to go into tech, and it was a lifesaver for me. And where do we get jobs after studying this? LinkedIn, Twitter, Indeed.com, Dentry.io, Upwork. If you want to work as a freelancer, you could actually get this, and people will give you modeling contracts and all that. Then on Fiverr, you can get work, then just join it. So enroll today and take the first step toward your high demand career. So, but before then, let me just show you. This is what data modeling actually looks like in your database. So whatever application you are using, whatever software you are using, this is how it was designed at the back end. All right. So everything you need in MySQL Workbench is practically here. You can check the database. This is what you do. You check if the database is still running so that your application won't crash. Sometimes when you hear that the server is down, it simply means that the website will also be down and a lot of things will go wrong. So as a database administrator or engineer, you have to be the guy to monitor this 24/7. All right. So there will be other guys too to also help you. So you make sure that the database is running properly by actually looking at it. Then we run MongoDB, you run MySQL queries, okay? You query the databases, you do whatever you want to do from this point. You do performance tuning and other things. This is how MongoDB looks like, all right? It handles semi-structured and unstructured data. So practically, database administration is a lifesaver for most industries. When you decide to enroll for this, is a lifesaver. All right. So enroll today and take the first step towards your high demand career. because it's in high demand. You can decide to work in many organizations. There's nobody that does not need a database administrator and engineer, because from time to time, people will always need a place to store their data. They will always need somebody to monitor that kind of database. Okay. So you'll be the guy in charge of data warehouse modeling, data warehouse. You are going to be working in collaboration with data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, software developers. So you'll be the guy to tell them how data should be stored and what kind of database base they should opt for, whether NoSQL will be best for a particular activity, or whether SQL will be good for it. So you'll be the guy to advise them. And this course will give you every single thing you need to actually stand out when you are in the job market. So we are going to prepare you and make you ready for it. Thank you very much. If there's any question, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Quickly before you go, there's a question. On database administration, I heard him talk about Linux and Shell. Does this have something to do with cybersecurity?
Okay. No, you can secure. It's not. It's not data. It's not cyber security per se. Database administration, you just secure data in your database. All right. So Linux and shell scripting simply means that you want to gain access to your computer. You want to create files by writing by using Linux commands. Okay. Those are Linux commands. You use them to relate with your computer. And there are some certain systems that are not operating systems that are not Windows, okay? And they are Linux based completely. So you need to learn how to write this so that you can relate, so that you can have a good, so that you can relate with the operating system anyway. And shell scripting is used to automate processes. For instance, if I want to perform a backup at 11:30 tonight, I'll just need to write a script, drop it somewhere, automate it, then go to sleep. At that particular time, that script is going to run and it's going to run my backup. So you use shell scripting for automating backups.
All right. Thanks, Michael, for that. Michelle, this other question is for you. Is there any correlation between product management and Scrum Master?
So there is a correlation between product management and Scrum Mastery. Usually at the point of developing the product, that is when the Scrum activities kickstart. And in that phase, usually if you are in an organization that has a Scrum Master, although the Scrum Master spearheads the development phase, they report directly to the product manager. So whatever decisions they are making when it comes to development and sprint activities go through the product manager for final approval. So that is the underlying relationship. And that is why have to understand those activities. So when information is communicated to us, we actually understand what is happening in our product's life at that time.
All right. Thanks for that. Can everyone see my screen though?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thanks. Larry, I hope your question has been answered. If not, you can unmute yourself. You can raise your hand and ask other questions if need be. All right, quickly going on because of our time as well. I need to start rushing now. So, you heard from different subject matter experts on different career paths. And I'm sure maybe by now you've been really informed on the right path for you. So for the master class, which is the combination of project management, business analysis, and Scrum Master, the next cohort will be starting on Wednesday, which is the 20th of November. It's a 5-month course and the live session runs 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. UK time, and on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. UK time as well. So the next cohort will be starting on the 20th, which is next week, Wednesday. Digital marketing next cohort will be starting 2nd of December. It's a 2-month course as well that runs 3 days a week as well, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. during the week, and 10 a.m. to 12 noon on a Saturday. Excel and SQL, which is a 2-month course for those that don't want to go for the 5-month training for data analysis, runs twice a week for 2 months, Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. as well. The next course start on Tuesday next week. So data analysis, which is a 5-month program where you'll be trained on Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, and Python. It starts on the 19th of November as well. Runs twice a week as well, every Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. UK time. Product management, which is a combination of product, UI, UX, and Scrum, starts on the 22nd of November. It's a 5-month program as well, and it runs 3 days a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. UK time. Database administrator runs Fridays and Saturdays, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and it starts 22nd of November as well. And software testing, it's a 5-month program as well, which runs Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. UK time. The next cohort starts on the 21st of November. All right. So these are the prices for each course, right? The actual price for each course is on your screen right now. So for data analysis, the actual price is $7.99, masterclass $7.99, digital marketing $2.99, Excel SQL, which is a 2-month course, $2.99, software testing $9.99, database administrator $7.99, product management $7.99. But we are given the first 10 people to enroll on the journey, 50% discount, right? So for the first 10 people to enroll in any of these courses starting, we are giving 50% discount. So meaning you can get it for half price, $399 for data analysis, $399 for masterclass, $149 for digital marketing, $149 for Excel, SQL, software testing $499, database $399, product management $399. And the good thing again is after the 50% discount, if you have everything to pay at once, why not you can pay it? If not, you can actually start with half payment and you can pay the other half within 6 to 8 weeks after you started. So you have almost 8 weeks or 2 months to pay the balance after you've started. So you can spread the payment over 2 months. But depending on individual circumstances, sometimes, we can allow 3 instrumental payments over 3 months as well. All right, so if you are interested on the journey, there's a link, there's a Google form that has been shared on the chat. You can drop your details, but at the same time, if you really want to secure your spot, you can send a WhatsApp message to the number on your screen as well. Um, if you have any questions, you want to secure your spot, you want to get on the training, either you fill the Google form or you can send a direct WhatsApp message on the number on your screen. So you can screenshot the number, you can save it on your phone. You can get any member of the team directly on that number as well. So if there's any question, please we can take 2 or 3 questions before we call it a night. I hope you've been able to gain something, out of the session tonight. And the good thing about this journey is, once you start, you can be rest assured that we got you, because we are going to do that. Is why you notice in any of our trainings, we don't have 2 months, we don't have, because we believe we want to, ensure that you learn, whatever that needs to, whatever you need to know before you start applying for job out there. So that is why we take our time to take you on the journey, so if you decide to go with us, is a journey that you never regret. It's a move that when you look back, maybe 4 months, 5 months, 6 months down the line, you realize that this is the best Christmas gift, I can ever give myself. So I don't know whether there's any final question from anyone. Please, you can drop it on the chat, or you can raise your hand. I would love to hear from you as well. So you can raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute and you can ask your question, or you can drop your question on the chat as well. The recording of this session will be sent to us via email as well. Or if you are on any of our WhatsApp group, it will be shared on the WhatsApp group as well. So, any question from anyone before we call it a day, or a night rather? Any final question from anyone? Let me just check. Any final question from anyone before we go? No question. All right, that is fine. But if you remember anything later on, you can message the WhatsApp number. If you have any question later on, or you remember something and you want to ask, right, you can message the WhatsApp number on your screen right now, anytime, and you get a response. We'd love to, to have you on board. We'd love to walk the walk with you. And to us, it is way more than the money. It is the value that you get at the end of the day, as in, if you are able to get a quality service. That is why in all of our courses, you are getting, a combination more than what you, even paid for. So that at the end of the journey, take for example, the master class, that will increase your chances 3 times of securing a job faster, because you can apply at the end of the day, at the end of the journey, you can apply for roles, business analysis roles, project management roles, or scrum master roles, because you are equally equipped in any one of them. And also on the project as well, you get your hands dirty in all roles as well. That is the advantage. So for anyone who is ready to take a chance, ready to take the leap of faith, ready to make that move, we'll be more than happy to have you on board, and we'll be more than happy to start the journey with you as well. So that being said, thank you everyone for taking your time to be with us tonight. And till we'll see you on the journey, have a lovely night rest and stay safe out there. Thanks everyone. Good night.